Ready to take a look at the future of education?
I am. There are some really fascinating trends happening right now.
Definitely. We're diving into Ferry Kirkus's article, 100 Trailblazing Educators Revolutionizing Learning and Shaping the Future of Education.
Wow, 100 trailblazers. That's a lot to cover.
It is. We're not going to meet all 100, but we'll definitely explore the big picture trends they represent.
Sounds good. Where do you want to start?
Let's jump right into personalized learning.
Hmm.
Ever feel like you're stuck in a classroom that just doesn't quite get you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It can be tough to stay engaged when the pace or the teaching style isn't a good fit.
Right. Personalized learning aims to change that. Imagine a learning experience designed specifically for you, your pace, your style, your interests.
Like a custom tailored education.
Exactly. And what's really making this possible is technology. We're talking about AI-powered learning platforms that adapt to how you learn best.
So instead of everyone having to learn the same thing in the same way, you could have a system that adjusts to your strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. Think of it like a dashboard that tracks your progress and suggests resources based on what you need, almost like having a personal tutor in your pocket.
That's incredible. I can see how that would be a game changer, especially for students who've struggled with traditional classrooms.
Absolutely. It's all about recognizing that we don't all learn the same way. Some people thrive in a hands-on environment, while others learn best through lectures or discussions.
And personalized learning can take all of that into account.
Exactly. You know, it makes me think about a student I read about. She was really struggling to connect with her history class. All those dates and names just felt tedious to her.
I can relate to that. History was never my favorite subject.
Right. But then her school started using personalized learning. She started exploring historical periods through interactive simulations and documentaries. She even got to create her own historical fiction.
Wow, that's way more engaging than just reading a textbook.
Totally. She went from feeling totally lost to completely absorbed. That's the kind of potential we're talking about here, making learning not just effective, but truly engaging.
And speaking of engaging, have you heard much about project-based learning?
It's kind of what it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just reading about something, you're actually out there doing it.
Yeah, it's all about taking what you learn and using it to tackle real-world problems.
Exactly. You're learning by doing. I remember reading about this group of students who designed a sustainable garden for their school. Isn't that a perfect example of what we're talking about?
Absolutely. It's so much more engaging than just learning about plants and stuff from a textbook.
Right. They had to get their hands dirty, figure out how to grow food sustainably. They weren't just memorizing facts. They were applying what they learned to a real-world challenge.
And think about the skills they're building in the process. Teamwork, problem solving, critical thinking. Those are the skills that employers are looking for.
Totally. The job market is changing so fast these days. It's not enough to just memorize a bunch of stuff anymore. You have to be able to think on your feet, adapt to new situations.
Exactly. Project-based learning helps students develop those skills. It's about preparing them not just for their first job, but for a lifetime of learning. Okay, so we've talked about personalized learning and project-based learning. Ready to shift gears a little?
Sure. What else you got?
Well, there's another trend that's becoming increasingly important, and that's social emotional learning.
You mean like learning how to manage your emotions and stuff? Sometimes I wish they taught us more about that in school.
Exactly. It's easy to get so caught up in academics that we forget about these essential human skills.
Right, like self-awareness, empathy, building healthy relationships.
Absolutely. These skills are crucial for navigating not just our personal lives, but also the wider world.
You know, it's funny, I still remember those awkward group projects in school where nobody knew how to communicate effectively. Imagine if they taught us more about social emotional intelligence back then.
Yeah, that would have been helpful. It's not just about group projects either. These skills are important for everything: relationships, careers, overall well-being.
Absolutely. Okay, so on to the next trend. What do you think about blended learning?
Blended learning, you mean like combining in-person classes with online learning?
Exactly. Remember snow days when you secretly hoped school would just be canceled?
Huh. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Blended learning kind of makes that a reality. You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it offers so much more flexibility. Students can access lessons and resources from anywhere at any time.
And it can be really helpful for students who need a little extra support or who want to go at their own pace.
I see your point. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we're almost out of time, but there's one more trend we need to talk about, and that's STEM education. Have you heard about this?
Oh yeah, STEM is huge right now. Science, technology, engineering, math, right?
Exactly. It's a field that's absolutely exploding with opportunities.
For sure. We're talking about the innovations that are shaping the future.
Hmm.
Artificial intelligence, renewable energy, you name it. It seems like STEM is about way more than just cool gadgets, though.
Oh, absolutely. It's about giving people the skills to really make it in this constantly changing world, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like what kind of skills are we talking about specifically?
Well, you need critical thinking skills, for sure,
Yeah,
problem solving, creativity, and then there's digital literacy. You can't escape that these days. And these are important in any industry, really.
for sure. It's not just about working at some tech company in Silicon Valley.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot today. Personalized learning, project-based learning, social and emotional learning, that's a mouthful, blended learning, and STEM. They seem kind of connected, though, don't you think? Like different parts of the same thing.
I totally see that. They all kind of fit together. It's like they're all pointing towards a future where education is more engaging, more relevant for what people need, and definitely way more personalized than it used to be.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it means we're getting away from that old way of doing things, that whole factory model of education.
Right, right. It's more about the individual now.
And that's pretty cool when you think about it. It means we're recognizing that the learner, you, me, whoever, we're at the center of it all.
And it gives you the power to learn the way you want,
Mm.
to explore what you're passionate about, and to really, develop the skills you need to make a difference in the world.
It's about making learning something you love, something you keep doing your whole life.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the future of education, here's something to think about.
Yeah.
What kind of learner do you want to be? What are those skills you want to build? What kind of impact do you want to make? Because at the end of the day, the future of learning is really in your hands.